Do you have a short attention span? Well, if you do, you can find out how this affects your happiness and what you can do about it by sticking around. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose edition. This is episode number 2. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing and banging the bell so that way you get all notifications and you can start getting a better grip on your life. All right, let's get right to it. Today's topic is going to be very interesting. It's a very fascinating topic that I'm very passionate about. And this is a major issue that our society, our culture has globally nowadays. Let me just get to it and you'll see what I'm talking about here. The topic of today's episode is short attention span, how this affects your happiness, and what to do about it. Okay, let's dive right into this. So, why do I personally feel people today in society have a very short attention span? Well, it has to do with the internet, obviously. It has to do with these smartphones, obviously. I'm actually recording this video on my smartphone. Okay? It has to do with the fact that we have so much information coming our way at the speed of light that we don't know what to do with it. We want to process it all at the same time. We want to be a part of every little thing, but that's not possible with our human mind, our human brain. And so we get flooded with all of this information, and some of it can be confusing, some of it is interesting, and we have to pick and choose, what we want to watch, what we want to be a part of, where to participate, where not to participate, etc. It has flooded our minds, beyond our capacity. And the human mind has a pretty huge capacity. But the internet, in my opinion, and especially the smartphones we have nowadays, have definitely made it much more challenging and have definitely overloaded the human mind, in my opinion. Okay? So, that's where I honestly feel the majority of the issues are today with people that have a short attention span. I think to a certain degree, every human being out there that's used technology in the last 10 years at least or so, or maybe 10, 12 years since smartphones have been out and mobile devices have been out, is dealing with this. Even adults like myself, I'm 45 years old, and I struggle with it myself. I've seen my mother struggle with it, So it's not just our youth, in my opinion, that is struggling with short attention spans nowadays. It's everyone. And I'm going to share a few examples here on what you can do to, change that for the better and how it will affect your life if you don't. Now, let's be real here. We're all humans, right? We all have a heart, we have a soul, and we all want to be loved and appreciated, right? But what happens when you go hang out with a group of friends and you go there to engage each other, to have fun, maybe go bowling, maybe shoot some pool, maybe spend a day at the beach? You go there to have fun and engage with them. But what happens when you go there and you're all on your smartphones the entire time? Are you really engaging each other in person? Okay? And if your plan was to go hang out with your friends at the beach, at the pool hall, or a bowling alley, to be on your smartphone the entire time, why'd you even show up in the first place? Why not just stay at home and get on a laptop or desktop where you can surf the internet on a bigger screen than these little tiny smartphones we have? Why? That's my question, everyone out there. Why would you do that? We've all been guilty of it. So, in my opinion, why do I feel this happens? I feel this happens because human nature has always been to find the best possible things to do that stimulate our minds. Human nature has always been to find the most compatible people to hang around with and do things that brighten up our day and keep our interest and keep us happy. And if we're not happy about a certain something, we get bored, and naturally we look to find something that's going to make us feel better, right? Okay. But what happens nowadays because of these smartphones? Honestly, people are much more quick to judge on their decision-making process on whether somebody is a decent enough person to hang out with or not. Or let's take the dating arena, for example. Okay? Let me give you an example of how I've used online dating in the past and what I've seen out there. Okay. So in between relationships, I've gone on to online dating and communicated back and forth with women to try to get to know someone to see if they're worthy enough to meet up for a date. And let me tell you, the women that I immediately eliminate, no matter how beautiful they are or how well written their profile is, the women that cannot respond with more than a sentence or two, I eliminate because they're not taking the time to show me their interest. They're just replying to me, with a quick response. And that to me is not really showing any interest, because if somebody is interested in you, they're going to take the time and effort to write you 1 or 2 paragraphs, maybe 3, and share a bit more about themselves. And that to me shows interest. So when you have a short attention span, because you're just throwing yourself out there to a bunch of people and you're just looking to see who bites, okay, that's also telling me that you're not really laser focused on finding the right person. You're more so just looking for attention, and you're looking to more so see how many people can validate you. Okay? If you're putting yourself out there in the online dating world for the right reasons, okay, and you start communicating with somebody that you like, you're going to show them by taking the time to write a well thought out response to them. You're going to show them some consideration. You're going to show them that you're interested by making the effort. And that's what I see happening nowadays. I see people communicating, in a very short manner. This more so happens with our youth, but I see it happening with adults as well. Even when, I'm texting back and forth with some people occasionally, they'll send like a 1 or 2 or 3 word text. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, am I not important enough for them to actually write a sentence or 2? And instead of going back and forth with 10 or 15 short texts, writing 1 or 2 more well thought out texts, which is what I'm trying to say, get the point across quicker, and also show that person that you care about them by writing more than just 1, 2, or 3 words. I see that happening, a lot nowadays. And another example of people having a short attention span is, let's say you meet up on a date with somebody. And in today's day and age, a lot of people are very judgmental on looks alone. Now, I understand there has to be some physical attraction. I get that. But let's say that, you meet someone and maybe you're average looking to them and maybe they're not really attracted to you in that way. So you try to engage them in a conversation to see if there's anything on the mental and emotional aspect. And what are they doing? They're kind of half listening to you while they're on this date. Maybe you're having coffee or wherever you're at. And then they're on their smartphone texting, probably, making plans with somebody else after your date. You know, not only do I think that's rude, at the same time, okay, that other person that may not be fully physically attracted to you doesn't know how good of a person you are inside at a mental and emotional level. And what I've noticed in the past is that I've gone on dates with women that typically were not my physical type initially, but because I engaged them in conversation, I got to know them, I really started to like the way they were at a mental and emotional level. And that made that made them appear more physically beautiful to me. So that's what you folks are missing out when you're quick to judge because you have a short attention span because you're trying to find the best thing possible. A lot of people nowadays are always looking for the next best thing, even if they've already got it. You know, people nowadays that are dating each other could be in a very happy relationship, but they're always wondering and they're curious if there's something better out there because the technology has made it too easy for people to put themselves out there, even secretly, behind your partner's back. I've seen that happen. So what's the solution to all of this? Okay, the solution to all of this, what's the right thing to do? What can you do about it? Is take others into consideration. Take other people's feelings into consideration, which is what I'm trying to say. Think about how you would feel. Again, think about how you would feel if someone did the same thing to you that you're doing to them. Okay? If you're on a date with somebody that you like and they're on their phone and not paying attention to you, how would you feel? Okay? How would you feel about that? So why would you do that to them? Okay? And again, even if you're not each other's typical physical type, why not have a conversation and see if there's something else there besides looks? Because I'll tell you, folks, as you get older, looks are going to start to fade, and there are more important aspects to life than looks. Okay? But again, the main issue I see here and why I feel people have a short attention span is because they're always looking for the next best thing, even if they already have it. So if you just, sat there and thought about it and said, okay, you know what, I have many options. I'm dating someone right now and he's a decent guy, but I'm curious to know if there's somebody better out there. Okay? Sit there and take that other person's feelings into consideration. Put yourself on the flip side of that. If you've already got something good, why not focus on making it better than always wondering if there's something better out there, because that means you're never going to be happy and you're never going to settle. Now, a lot of people out there have said never settle for anything or settle for second best. That is true in some cases. But at some point, if you never settle, are you ever going to be happy within yourself? Are you ever going to, take enough time to truly get to know someone that could create that happiness that you're seeking? Again, in today's day and age, many people are out there, to see how much validation they can get. It's more of a popularity contest than just being a real, decent human being and allowing people to come into your life and getting to know them and not eliminating them like right away because there's one thing that's off about them, and you have many other options nowadays because of these smartphones and the internet. Okay? Your life will be much happier if you slow things down and take other people's feelings into consideration in the same ways that you would want them to take your feelings into consideration. Each and every one of us has been hypocritical of that because we all want what's best for us, and I get that. You got to take care of yourself first before you can take care of other people or be happy around other people. You got to be happy with yourself first. Okay? But again, start being a little more considerate to other people's feelings, wants, and needs, and think about how they are going to feel about something, before you do it. And think about how you would feel if they did that same thing to you. You've got to always flip it. If you're going to learn anything from this video here today, before I wrap it up, you got to always flip it around and ask yourself, how would I feel if the person that I'm doing this to did the same thing to me? And if you wouldn't feel good about it, then why would you do it to them? That's my best advice to give you regarding this. Okay? So slow things down. Process things a little bit slower. Think a little more deeply. Don't let the information superhighway consume you and overflood your mind to the point of where you can't give certain people that deserve more of your attention than a few words that attention. They deserve that if they're good people. Okay? And again, think about how you would feel, if you sent someone a 3-word text and they sent you a 3-word text initially themselves. Okay? The more effort someone puts into you, it's going to make you feel more appreciated. So why wouldn't you want to put more effort into someone else or whatever else you're doing rather than making it short? I understand in some cases short and sweet is good. Okay? But in other cases, take a little more time. Think a little more deeply. Engage in conversation with people. Get to know people before you eliminate them. Okay? Don't be so quick to judge because you have many other options nowadays. And that's my best advice when it comes to people with short attention spans. This is the reason why, or these are the many reasons why I feel it's happening out there. Let me know what you think below in the comments section. Also, let me know if there's a topic that you would like me to discuss in a future video. I'd be happy to do that for you. Just look below in the description section. You'll find the links on how to do that. Also, if you'd like to work with me personally, the links to learn more about that are below in the description as well. So, with that being said, you folks have yourselves a great, great day, and I will talk to you all next time. See you all soon. Bye-bye.